Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the top 50 stories from around the world. I'm Alison LaGrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. In our top stories, US President Joe Biden will host President-elect Donald Trump for a meeting later today. The meeting at the White House will mark the commencement of the transfer of presidential power. This comes after Biden promised a peaceful transition last week. Trump has named Tesla's CEO Elon Musk as a co-head of a new U.S. government department that he plans to bring in. The Department of Government Efficiency, the Republican Vivek Ramaswamy, will also head the department alongside Musk. Meanwhile, Trump has nominated South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem as America's next Homeland Security Secretary. Trump has tapped John Ratcliffe for the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, and Fox News host Pete Hegseth has been nominated for the Defense Secretary's post. A New York State judge has halted legal proceedings against Trump until the 19th of November. The criminal case involves Trump's hush money payment to an adult film star. Trump was charged with 34 felonies. The judge was expected to rule on the case yesterday. And Jack Teixeira, who leaked secret Pentagon documents last year, has been sentenced to 15 years in prison. The 22-year-old former soldier from U.S. Air National Guard had leaked high-profile intelligence documents. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that another Iranian attack on Israel would cripple Iran's economy. Netanyahu added, and I quote, "Tyrants of Tehran are putting Iranian families in grave danger." He said that the cost of Iran's recent attack on Israel amounted to $2.3 billion. This comes after Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei threatened Israel and the U.S. of a crushing response. And Israeli defense forces say that they have dismantled most of Hezbollah's weapons and missile facilities in southern parts of Lebanon's capital, Beirut. The IDF also released footage showing strikes in Beirut's suburbs of Dahiyeh. Now, the strikes purportedly caused major damage to Hezbollah infrastructure. And the Yemen-based Houthi rebels claim that they conducted 2 military operations against American warships in the Arabian Sea and the Red Sea. The first operation targeted a U.S. aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea with missiles and drones, while the second attack targeted 2 U.S. destroyers in the Red Sea. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a 3-nation tour between November the 16th and the 21st. He will be in Nigeria on the 16th of November and the 17th, and at the invitation of President Bola Tinubu. After that, the Indian Prime Minister will travel to Brazil's Rio de Janeiro to attend the G20 summit, and he will then visit Guyana on the 19th of November at the invitation of President Irfan Ali. And Dutch police have arrested 6 people for defying a protest ban. The ban was in place after pro-Palestine violence erupted in Amsterdam. Now, on the 11th of November, stick-wielding man set a tram on fire while using anti-Jewish slurs. Now, the riot followed violence between Israeli football fans and the locals last week. At least 35 people were killed in China's Zhuhai after a driver rammed his car into them. 43 others were injured. The incident took place at the sports complex. And the British author Samantha Harvey has won the 2024 Booker Prize. She won the coveted honor for her space fiction novel Orbital. The 136-page book was praised by the Booker panel for its language of lyricism. A total of 5 women were shortlisted for the Booker Prize this year, the most in the award's 56-year history. And in climate news, Ilham Aliyev, the president of Azerbaijan, has said that oil, gas and natural resources are a gift from God. This is despite the fact that his country is currently hosting the COP29 UN Climate Summit. Aliyev also slammed Western critics of Azerbaijan's oil and gas industry. He claimed that his country is the victim of a campaign of slander and blackmail over its oil and gas production. The global carbon dioxide emissions are on track to reach a record 41.6 billion metric tons in 2024. Last year, the emissions stood at 40.6 billion tons. This is according to the Global Carbon Budget report released at the COP29 in Azerbaijan. Most emissions stem from fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. A dense smog covered India's capital New Delhi and nearby regions, severely impacting the visibility. New Delhi's air quality index rose to the severe level, exceeding 400. The AQI was in the very poor category for the past 2 weeks. Strong winds and dry conditions along the New York-New Jersey border hampered efforts to control the Jennings Creek fire. The wildfire has burned 5,000 acres of land in the Passaic County of New Jersey. The National Weather Service has issued a high alert in parts of New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. A forest fire in the Quilpú city of central Chile has triggered an evacuation alert. The fire, impacting the municipalities of Quilpú and Villa Alemana, has already burned around 100 acres of vegetation. Authorities have deployed fire brigades aircraft to combat the blaze. In flood-hit areas near Valencia, residents are bracing for another potential storm. The National Weather Service issued an orange alert, forecasting up to 120 millimeters of rain in 12 hours. Though this storm is expected to be less severe than the recent catastrophic floods that killed over 200 people. And heavy rains and landslides devastated the central Peruvian town of Huánuco. The area received a month's worth of rainfall in 2 hours. The rainfall led to flooding and mudslides, and it destroyed at least 30 homes and partially damaged 300 more. A Dutch court has reversed a historic 2021 ruling against the British oil giant Shell. The latest ruling said that Shell is already doing what is expected of them. The case relates to Shell's plans to cut greenhouse gas emissions from its business. In 2021, a lower Dutch court ruled that Shell must reduce its emissions by 45% by the year 2030. And on to business and tech news now. The U.S. oil and gas industry is calling on President-elect Donald Trump to scrap Biden administration's policies. The industry urged Trump to roll back limits on vehicle emissions intended to promote electric cars. The group also sought export permits for liquefied natural gas facilities. The American oil giant ExxonMobil has reportedly reached a deal to sell its assets in the Permian Basin. Exxon reportedly aims to focus more profitable sites, and the assets are being sold to oil exploration firm Hilcorp Energy for about $1 billion. And German car maker Volkswagen is raising its investment in the American electric vehicle firm Rivian. It will now invest $5.8 billion in Rivian by 2027, up from an earlier plan of just $5 billion. The investment will be made through a joint venture between Volkswagen and Rivian. The German car maker says it aims to use Rivian's software and engineering across multiple vehicles. And Chinese battery maker CATL says it may consider building a plant in the US. The firm's founder and chairman, Robin Zeng, said that they would invest if President-elect Donald Trump allows. Zeng mentioned that they wanted to invest in the US, but the government had blocked it. And American aviation parts supplier Spirit Aerosystems will receive advance payments from plane makers Boeing and Airbus. Boeing will provide Spirit Aerosystems with up to $350 million. Meanwhile, Airbus will make an advance payment of $107 million. The Kansas-based Spirit Aerosystems has been struggling with massive losses. Earlier, the company warned that they might not be able to pay bills within the next 12 months. The United States is reportedly inquiring into Russian clients of Swiss banking giant UBS Group. The U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control, the agency responsible for enforcing sanctions, is leading the inquiry. The probe concerns Russian customers of UBS that the bank got after acquiring rival Credit Suisse last year. And the Japanese retailer 7 & I Holdings is reportedly planning to go private. The 7-Eleven store chain operator plans to buy out its shares listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. The deal could be valued at over $58 billion. This move comes as 7 & I Holdings has been under pressure to consider a takeover. Now, Indian food delivery startup Swiggy debuted on the stock market today. The firm's share price rose by over 2% compared to the listing price. Swiggy's $1.4 billion initial public offering garnered over 3 times the bids last week. And share prices of South Korean chip giant Samsung Electronics fell over 4% today. This marks the lowest level the firm has seen in more than 4 years. Analysts say that investors are concerned that Samsung may be affected by potential tariff plans of Donald Trump. The new U.S. president-elect plans to impose a 60% tariff on China. Analysts note that Samsung is more reliant on its Chinese clients compared to its peers. An OpenAI co-founder, Greg Brockman, has returned to the company as president. Brockman had been on a sabbatical for the past 3 months. He called it the longest vacation of his life. This comes as ChatGPT maker OpenAI has seen several of its top executives depart. Now, these include names like the co-founders Ilya Sutskever, John Schulman, and CTO Mira Murati. And moving on to sports news, and we start with cricket. India will face South Africa today in the third of their ongoing 4-match T20 international series. India won the opener in Durban on the 8th of November, but South Africa leveled the series after beating India in the second match. The winner of today's match will take a 2-1 lead in the series. And England's Reece Topley has been fined by the International Cricket Council for smashing a chair. Topley smashed the chair after injuring his knee during England's T20 series opener against the West Indies. The English fast bowler was fined 15% of his match fee by the ICC. And in football, Argentina's Justice Department has launched an investigation into illegal sports betting. This came after a Buenos Aires football club fielded a social media influencer during a match on the 11th of November. The 24-year-old YouTuber had no professional football experience, but he was still given a contract to play at the club. And Turkish club Ankara Gücü's former president Faruk Koka has been sentenced to 3 years and 7 months in prison. He was convicted for intentionally wounding a referee during a match in December of 2023. Koka was seen punching a referee in the face and fracturing his eye socket. And in tennis news, world number 1 Jannik Sinner beat the 5th-ranked Taylor Fritz in an ATP Finals match. Sinner got past the American 6-4, 6-4 in straight sets. This was his second consecutive win in the ATP Finals. Sinner is now in strong contention for a semi-final spot at the event. And world number 4 Daniil Medvedev secured his first win at the ATP Finals. The Russian beat Australia's Alex de Minaur 6-2, 6-4 yesterday. Medvedev had lost his ATP Finals opener to Taylor Fritz. But with this win, Medvedev is back in contention for the semi-finals of the tournament. And in badminton, India's PV Sindhu began her Japan Masters campaign with a comfortable win over Thailand's Hussan Anna Vamrufan. Now, Sindhu beat her Thai opponent 21-12, 21-8 in the opening round of the tournament, and Sindhu won the match in just 38 minutes. In hockey, India registered their second win in the Women's Asian Champions Trophy. The hosts beat South Korea 3-2 in Bihar. India took an early lead with a third-minute goal by Sangeeta Kumari. Deepika Kumari had scored the second goal in the 20th minute. but South Korea mounted a strong comeback in the third quarter. The visitors scored in the 34th and 38th, but a 57th minute penalty helped India seal the game. And in boxing, Olympic medalist Sarah Rahman withdrew her bid to become the president of the French Boxing Federation. The Rio Olympic silver medalist cited racist and sexist attacks as the reason for her withdrawal. Rahman had been campaigning in a joint bid alongside the current president, Dominique Neto. And Formula One race director Niels Wittich has stepped down with immediate effect. The F1's governing body, the FIA, said that Wittich has left his role to pursue new opportunities. Roy Marquez will take over as the F1 race director from next week, ahead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And in entertainment news, American actor John Krasinski has been named People's Sexiest Man Alive of 2024. When he got to know about this honor, he said that he had zero thoughts in his head. Krasinski began his career in the 2000s and has delivered a number of hits with projects like The Office and A Quiet Place. And rapper Sean Combs is reportedly held in the 4 North unit of the Metropolitan Detention Center, a dorm-style area with amenities like air hockey, music access, and healthier meals. Reportedly, the unit includes grates with holes in the walls, allegedly allowing male inmates to see and communicate with female prisoners. The rapper is facing charges of sexual assault and racketeering. And Olivia Rodrigo has announced her first headline stadium shows in Brazil and Mexico for 2025. The Grammy-winning singer will perform in Brazil on the 26th of March and in Mexico City on the 2nd of April. These new dates will complement Rodrigo's extensive 2024 Guts World Tour, which saw massive success with 95 sold-out shows across over 60 cities. And the Songwriters Hall of Fame has unveiled the list of 2025 nominees. Notable names include Eminem, Boy George, Sheryl Crow, Janet Jackson, Alanis Morissette, the Doobie Brothers, and NWA. Bryan Adams and Mike Love also made the cut. And Apple Studios and A24 are teaming up to bring Michael Lewis's best-selling book, Going Infinite, The Rise and Fall of a New Tycoon, to the big screen. Released in October of 2023, the book delves into the meteoric rise and shocking collapse of Sam Bankman-Fried. He was the founder of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX. And India's official entry for the Oscars 2025, Lapata Ladies, or Lost Ladies, has launched its Academy Awards campaign with a newly revealed poster. The poster highlights the film's main characters, Pool and Jaya, hinting at their journey. Lapata Ladies is a humorous satire on patriarchy and addresses issues of gender equality. And Timothy Chalamet revealed in an interview that he meticulously prepared for the role of Bob Dylan. He prepared for 5 years and learned 13 classic Dylan songs. He worked closely with a harmonica coach to capture Dylan's distinct sound. He also embarked on a road trip to retrace Dylan's early life from Hibbing, Minnesota to Chicago, immersing himself in the iconic musician's journey. And Lupita Nyong'o has joined the high-profile cast of Christopher Nolan's upcoming As Yet Untitled film. Alongside her will be an impressive lineup of A-list talent, including Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Anne Hathaway. As with most of Nolan's projects, plot details and the film genre remain tightly under wraps. The film is set for a theatrical release on the 17th of July 2026 and is expected to begin shooting in early 2025. And Netflix's live-action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender has expanded its cast for the upcoming second season. 8 new actors have joined the series, namely Chin Han, Amanda Zhou, and Rekha Sharma, among others. The new additions will join returning cast members like Gordon Connor, Elizabeth Yu, and Daniel Day Kim. Avatar: The Last Airbender is currently in production. And Hollywood icon Denzel Washington has confirmed that he will be joining the cast of the upcoming Black Panther film. Washington shared that director Ryan Coogler is currently crafting a role specifically for him. The Marvel Cinematic Universe's Black Panther series has kept fans eagerly waiting for updates on its next chapter. Black Panther debuted in 2018. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.